y'all know what time it is? Do y'all really know what time it is? It's time to grab your popcorn, grab your best beverage. It's time to relax your ears. Wrestling season has returned, baby.
Ooh, yeah.
That's right. And it's time for your main event. Coming down the aisle, we have the one, Bobby Wrestles. And he is accompanied by the beautiful Amor. This is the main event. Welcome to the All About Wrestling Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another show. This is the All About Wrestling Podcast, and I'm Bobby Wrestles. And today, we have a very special guest. Yes, we do. And today, we're talking about women's role in professional wrestling. All right, so hold on a second. I think there's a bit of an echo. Give me 1 second. For our special guest, if you can mute yourself, I think that's coming from you. Possibly. Women's role in professional wrestling. All right, we'll get that sorted. Folks, we have a very special guest. Women's wrestling, their role in wrestling, right? Women. In the 80s, it started with valets, managers, and things of the sort. And then today, we have premier athletes, right? So we want to get our perspective from a legitimate woman in the industry of pro wrestling and other industries, the one, Miss Jasmin St Claire. How are you?
Thank you so much for having me. I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
All right, it is a pleasure having you. And Amor will be with us shortly. Of course, she's not here. Hello, folks in the chat. How are you? How's the audio? Please let us know. You are from the Virgin Islands, correct? And Amor will be with us shortly.
Kind of, yeah.
Okay, all right. Please explain like where you grew up at and where you are now.
Sure. You can't always read everything you see on the internet, obviously. So I was raised in London and Paris and New York City. So I live predominantly between LA. Actually, I say New York City, Europe, and then in LA. So I'm just like all over. But I'd say for the most part, I would say I'm a Manhattan girl. And living in London, like growing up during my formative years, really helped a lot with so many different things. But growing up in New York City now, that's very special because that's where I got into wrestling.
Right. Okay. And you've had some very interesting moments in wrestling. Of course, we know you in ECW. That's where I recognize you from. We just met at Icons of Wrestling in Philadelphia. That was a pleasure, and now we have you on the show. So I want to get your perspective on women's role in professional wrestling. And you were there at its inception, I would think, in terms of women actually being propelled within the industry. What are your thoughts about today's women's wrestling?
I think it's great, but I really feel as though I think there are a lot of women's matches, which is wonderful. I think if we keep pushing and pushing it like too much and too far, it's just going to take away from, the novelty of it. And I'm not saying that women aren't great wrestlers now. It's just they have other roles in it. And I kind of miss the days of the Attitude Era where you have the sex and the violence, the sexiness and like the managers. Then you had like all those really cool catch fights. You had all the cool like the bra and panties match and things like that. And I think that's what we're lacking now, but it's nice to have a little bit of everything for everyone. I'm mostly around female death matches.
Right.
And if you don't want to do things that you feel like you're being sexualized, then don't do it. It's that simple.
Right.
But I've never felt sexualized in any way, shape, or form. Like everything I've signed up for, like I signed up for it myself.
Okay. So let's talk about that. So let's go to the chat first. All right, we have some people in the chat. Mike D, he says he loves these interviews. We have Hey, Internet, Eric here. Audio volume is fine. There's a bit of an echo. I'm going to work on that. All right, stick with us. Fandito, way back when during WCW versus Monday Night Raw. Yo, guys, I'm here. I remember Jasmin. Internet, Eric here. Audio volume is Matthew Holland. Hi, Bobby. Bobby G. My birthday is next month. Okay. Happy early birthday. And Mr. Spades, what up, what up, what up? All right, so you are an adult film star. You've been in.
Well, no, was. I quit in like in 99, 98.
My correction.
Like 99, yeah.
Correction. Were an adult film star. Do you see, I guess, any correlation between pro wrestling in terms of your experiences behind the curtain to the adult film industry?
Not really. I mean, it's two separate worlds. One of them takes a little bit more thought process, whereas the other one does not. You know, most people listening to this probably could figure that out on their own. You know, you can get hurt doing wrestling, definitely. You can't really get hurt doing an adult film. Like, I don't know where that industry is at now. I don't really have friends that are involved in that, and it was a way different era in the 90s, than it is now. But I didn't really see much of a correlation, to be quite frank with you. I just know it's kind of the same fan base. It's almost the same fan base as a lot of the guys I would sell like vintage model kits and vintage Barbie dolls to.
Right.
It's kind of in that same, you know, they like that whole subculture. I just know it's kind of the same fan
Okay.
base.
So what came first for you in terms of your interest? Adult film or wrestling?
So I grew up watching wrestling. I certainly didn't grow up watching like adult films. I was never really a fan of that. It's just a very interesting crossover as to how that happened. When I was working for Rob Black, he opened up Extreme Pro Wrestling, but what people don't realize is that I actually started off in ECW because he got me into there. And whatever working relationship they were supposed to have, it didn't happen. He opened up XPW, so I went there, and then I went back to ECW. But there was a little stint between them. I was in Memphis Championship Wrestling.
Okay.
I would say I had way more years out of adult, doing way more things like with wrestling and acting and you know, being a part of an improv troupe than that, which is just very interesting. But yeah, I mean, it's been a very cool journey so far. It's been really awesome.
Interesting. You touched on acting. You were in some movies, correct?
A lot, and I've done TV. I have a one-woman show. What else? Yeah, it's like a whole slew under one umbrella, I guess.
What was your favorite casting role in movies?
I have a one-woman show. What else? Yeah, it was a biker exploitation movie, and it was leader of a bike club. We shot that a couple of years ago. It was a lot of fun working on that because I got to ride my motorcycle.
Awesome.
And I would say working along like Grandmaster Melly. Grandmaster Melly Mel in a film as well. It was called. That was cool working alongside him because I grew up like watching him and like watching their videos and going to their shows when I was a kid.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he was cool. It was like so much fun. And I remember there were a few other people on the set that day who weren't like as humble as he was and like lacked the talent and the screen presence he had. Yeah, he was cool. It was like so much fun.
So hey, Internet, Eric here. He says that he's seen your movie Bad Apples. She was pretty good in it. Small role, but can you share like your experiences in that movie at all?
Yeah. Oh God, you remember that? They had to cut short some things, like quite a few things, not just mine, but others. It was freezing cold in Santa Clarita, and the power generator ran out. The trailer that I was in where I was getting murdered, it was freezing freaking cold. I had allergies. So I was on set like at 6 that morning with bad allergies, taking like Benadryl. The makeup girl had to keep redoing my makeup because every few minutes I was sneezing like right by my nose. And it was just it's a really tormented day, but it was fun doing the scene. It was fun smoking the cigarette. It was fun getting murdered. I had a few scenes with Adam Rifkin in that, which I don't think that they made the final cut, but it was really fun acting with him. He produced and directed, I think, Detroit Rock City.
Yeah.
But it was fun working in that. I liked it. It was cool. Like I just like cool projects. I worked with Stephen Baldwin on a project once, and even though it was like serious Bible thumping crap going on, it was a lot of fun working with him.
That's awesome. I liked it. That's awesome.
Yeah, he was cool. Like I met him years before. He rides motorcycles too. And at the time, I didn't know who he was, and he was talking to me at this place called the Rock Shop in Malibu. And
Awesome.
I saw this tattoo on his hand. I'm like, what is it, like out of a Cracker Jack box or something? It looks like, you look like like Barney Rubble. He's like, actually, I'm doing the Flintstone movie. I'm like, oh, okay, well then that figures.
Yeah, so you picked that right out from seeing that.
I had no clue. I was making fun of him because, that's what it was. He had a crotch rocket bike. I own one too. Mine's red though, not like white and bright green. And he had like the outfit on. And then I said, what do you like pop out of a birthday cake or something? Not knowing who he was. And then I'd run into him on a set years later.
That's interesting. So, so wrestling. All right. So I want to get your perspective, but first we have some images that I think I want you to explain exactly what's going on in these images. So, all right. So image one, we have this image here of you. So what's going on in this image?
Yeah. Like for real or like being completely jokey?
Like for real, for real.
Okay. So I was at the Big Apple Comic Convention. I could tell you because I could see like the way my hair was worn and also the necklace I'm wearing. And I totally just like wanted to be done with that day. That day I was arguing with the guy I was dating because he wanted me to sign my real name on my posters because he didn't like the whole Jasmin persona. So that's like when my branding was somehow like being debranded in those few years. It was not fun.
Yeah, you look pissed off.
Yeah, I'm like, well, if you had to sit next to some bitchy mama, was I allowed to, whatever, to some bitch boy mama's boy, like from the basement in Snohomish, Washington, which is like nowhere, you'd probably be really pissed off.
I think I would. So here's image number two.
I was at an adult video store doing a signing that day.
Okay.
I'm just, whatever, being, hi, just doing my thing.
Okay, image number three, I'm really curious about because I saw this in like the tabloids. So this is you.
Sorry. Was I allowed to curse?
You got it. You got it.
Okay.
So that's Machine Gun Kelly, correct?
Yeah.
So what is going on in this image and what's the story behind this?
He looks like a damn shaved bird, okay? And then there he was like with some hit or what, like he's the epitome of what is wrong with these white fucking suburban kids that listen to gangster rap, okay? And then they want to live this gangster. I'm gangster. Okay, asshole, let's talk about that. You have Suge Knight who sells this gangster fantasy to fucktards like that. Mm-hmm. And they want to be that. Okay, did you write your stuff? I could probably beat his ass. I was openly challenging him because I just don't like him. There's nothing tough about him. And that's stupid. Like, how much did you pay for your haircut? There is nothing gangster about you. Suge Knight, like I said, sold this fantasy to assholes like him. But this asshole probably had a bunch of time and money on his hands to do something. I've listened to his music before. It's like, yeah, it's just annoying, but yet someone like Suge Knight lives the reality of it.
Right.
Health problems, violence, and he was on trial for murder, but yeah, I just don't like posers, and he's the epitome of that. And that whole like that hairdo. It's just sorry.
Yeah.
I did say I wanted to beat his ass.
I think that's a match I think all of us would like to see, especially you guys in the chat, right? We like to see it. I like to see either you or Eminem. I know they got a beef going on. So, who? Eminem?
Oh, yeah, totally. Tag team partner.
And lastly, this image here. So I see there's a bike behind you. That's
my motorcycle.
So you ride. How long have you been riding?
Legally or illegally?
whatever you care to divulge.
16 years. Okay. Basically, like I didn't know you needed a license for it, and I was able to buy bikes and like get insurance and stuff like that. Then I realized I needed a license. I didn't take my test on that. That bike is a 650cc bike with that engine, the battery and everything, the muffler. It's like 510 pounds.
Okay.
The other bike I have is like 300 pounds. It's a Ninja 400 ABS, Candy Apple Red. That bike is really loud, so I take that one, like go up the coast with that on longer rides. I used it in a couple of films. It's a great bike. Awesome. And I was just happy that day. I think that was like, I was just happy doing my thing. Like,
yeah, that's what's up.
It is like, it's just a fun thing, like hearing that roar and be really loud and set off car alarms. That's the fun part of it.
Yeah.
Now in Europe, everyone likes the, the BMWs, Persols, like things like that. They ride more of the Japanese bikes or the Hondas, and those are very good, reliable bikes as well. But both my bikes are Kawasaki's. They're very reliable. I had a friend that had bought this KTM motorcycle. It was brand new, and my other bike was like 3 years old at that point. And, she stuck there with her brand new KTM, not knowing that there was a recall on their brand new bikes. So time and time again, Kawasaki never fails. That's like a walk-in ad for Kawasaki. Yeah, it never fails me. Plus, I was writing for a motorcycle magazine as well.
Awesome. All right, folks, we're here with Jasmin St Claire, and we have breaking news. We have a co-host.
Okay.
Finally. Sorry.
She's here.
Finally, I am here, guys. Yay! So nice to have you. Sorry I'm late, fashionably.
I expected it. I did ask him. I said, is she having like some kind of a hot Latin meltdown or something? Like, what's going on? Are we going to hear about some kind of craziness going around the city? But no.
Oh, yes. And I have quite a few questions for you. I had to sit and think about this because you're a very interesting woman.
Thank you.
Okay. So we have the most beautiful Jasmin St Claire here. And I Googled you. And when I Googled you, I was kind of surprised to see what came up because it said you were a former pornographic star, right? Like a film actor.
Yeah, that's true.
But I said former because if I'm not mistaken, did you just come out with something or something recent? No?
No, I've been out of that since like 99. So how many years has it been? 2019,
23.
20, 21, 22. So it's like, what, 24 years?
Good, cool. Do you ever have any reasons to miss the industry at all?
Not unless you want to look like, a piece of trailer park trash dressed up for an AVN Awards show. Then not really.
No. Okay. Cool.
No, I don't know.
Exclusively?
No, I'm joking. I have friends that are like currently in that. It's just a totally different thing, but it's like, it's of no interest to me. I have friends that do that. I have a lot of girls on my podcast that are in that, but they're cool people. They're not like the typical, porn chick on drugs. Like the ones that are on drugs and shit, I don't want them on my podcast. Like I don't even want you in my vicinity because I will smash your face in. 'Cause it's, excuse me, but it is fucking annoying.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know
how.
That's like, it's one of those things. I was there for like 2.5, 3 years, which is fun. I got on Howard Stern. I was one of his highest rated guests. I got on Jerry Springer. Like all these really things you just like, you hear about it now, but like if you were actually in the moment then doing those shows, it's so different. Like you could watch it, you could hear about it, but it was definitely really awesome being a part of pop culture, like 90s pop culture. It's an awesome time, you know?
Yeah, definitely. Well, in other words, you're exclusively now with XPW, which is amazing. Yes, and you look great. I always love to see you wrestling in the, actually in the action. So that's lovely. But I do see sometimes you still sit pretty as well.
I try, but like that shit was slack last month. It was like, God, I was like freaking out because the top barbed wire rope wasn't cut. I'm like, fuck.
Oh,
He's pissed off. Like, where am I going? So, yeah, everything's fine, I guess, for now. But I love the whole faction thing because when I first came back, God, I'm like babbling. We didn't know, we didn't know what was going to happen, what we were going to do. And then they put me with Necro Butcher. Most people know where I stand with my views politically, and I don't judge people on politics. I judge them in the way they treat me, not anything else. Plus, I'm one of these people, I'm a nerd when it comes to politics. Like, I'll go researching shit, and, like with most things, with like politics, with restaurants, with doctors, I will research that stuff like for hours and hours on end. But I guess, plus I like controversy a little bit, and like I've always been controversial. There's no ands, ifs, or buts. So yeah, that's the whole thing.
Awesome.
Yes, and you are actually an island woman, so you are a little what do we call it? Exotic. You are from the the Virgin Islands.
So we have to clear that up because I brought that up in the beginning, and of course, internet. Can you please explain to us where you're from or your background?
Yeah. So that's the thing, like Wiki, I always ask them to I always send things and I've had other people do it and nobody wants to do their job. So it's like, okay, fine, whatever. That's what you want to be. So I lived there for a few years. I didn't grow up there. I grew up between like London, New York, and Paris, and that was it. But yes, an island, I guess you could say I'm sort of an island woman because it is the Virgin Islands. And my dad had a business there. I'd spent some time there. I spent some time there as a baby as well. And then by that time we were in Europe. But I do go back quite a bit. I actually have a photo somewhere of the house that we lived in there. And I was there a few years ago. I saw my uncle. He's now a pastor at a church, which is very interesting. So I go to his Sunday, his things on Facebook sometimes. I guess he does his Sunday meetings or whatever there.
Mm-hmm.
I almost ran for council or something there a few years ago. I didn't do it though. I got bored.
So, what's your nationality?
I'm actually Brazilian and Dutch. And part Parisian.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, you still have like an exotic look to you. That's why I'm like, you have to be something of the sort because you have a very, very unique look. It's beautiful.
I look like my mom.
Aw.
All right, so let's go to the chat. There's a few questions here. So what's your favorite moment in ECW?
Oh, God. That's such a fully loaded question. I would say every moment there was a show was my favorite moment.
Were you?
But the most holy shit moment was any time Rhino was pile driving me off that top rope. Because I think that has been outlawed by now, that whole move, which they should because it's dangerous.
Were you hurt at all, or no? Well, sorry.
I was injured a couple times, but not from that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Were you in ECW with Matt Bourne? That's from Mike D.
Matt Bourne, was that his shoot name or his?
That was his name, wrestling name. Yeah.
I don't know because he had so many people that came and went. I know people I always see on a consistent basis though. I don't think he worked for me when I had 3PW wrestling either. So yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's talk about this poll. So we did a poll earlier, right? we asked, how significant has women's impact been to professional wrestling? So the majority said iconic. I'd like to get your thoughts, you both being a woman, and your perspective on wrestling, women's impact, and their I guess their mark on the business, and where you see it today. So, what is your thoughts? We'll go with Jasmin first, and then me, Amor.
I think it's come a long way. However, I do feel that the WWE underutilized Jazz from ECW, who's like a powerhouse. She should have had her own wrestling figure. So I don't think it went as far as it could there for women of color specifically. And that kind of irate me in a way. Because I know Jazz personally, and she deserved to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, the Women's Wrestling Hall of Fame that we had at the Icons of Legend this year. She totally deserved that. I think it's now become, it's a lot of it going on, and it's almost like too much. Yeah, let's have a tag division. Let's have like a middleweight. Let's have a lightweight. Let's have a heavyweight and a deathmatch division. That's it. But I think we're missing the whole thing where we don't have like the managers still. And I feel that's the only thing we're missing with women's wrestling. Not that it's really wrestling, but it's a part of the whole sports entertainment.
Right. Mi Amor, what are your thoughts?
I think, like I said before, I think women's wrestling is underrated. And I feel like they don't get as much respect as they should. And I also kind of feel like, I feel like the women's division should kind of branch off, like I told you, like I mentioned in the last episode, and have their own, wrestling industry. Like there should be something just for them, just because I feel like women have to work extra hard just to prove themselves, whether it be in a ring or anywhere else. Like they have to, take that extra step to be taken seriously. And even so, like it's not a guarantee that it's going to happen. So I don't know. I just think women's wrestling is underrated and it needs to stop.
Right.
Period.
I agree. I hear you. So we've seen, all right, and I mentioned this earlier, my earliest memory from women being involved, and you mentioned it, Jasmin St Claire was the whole manager valet thing, but that's all it was. And we're talking early 80s, pre-90s, and then the 90s rolled around and we got the Attitude Era, and some guy thought in his infinite wisdom that it's probably best to have women as sex symbols, and that's all they were. They were having
fighting in bikinis,
lingerie matches and stuff like that, and then
boobs everywhere.
Right. But today, women are premier athletes, and arguably some women wrestlers are probably better than most of the best males.
Or
and
stronger. Oh my gosh.
Charlotte Flair, Bianca Belair. It goes on and on and on. So this is what we're talking about, folks. And I mean, for the majority, I mean, the numbers don't lie. Majority speaks, and they says 75% says iconic. So I guess that's where we're going, and I guess we're going to continue to have this conversation within the upcoming weeks. Let's see here. So when is your next XPW show, and where is it going to be?
Okay, so the next show is in Pomona, California. It's this Saturday, Pleasures of the Flesh, and we have the Miss Extreme contest, which we're bringing back. I think I was the very first Miss Extreme, but then I left like 5 shows in or something to go back to ECW, but it's going to be fun. And we're starting to have our tag team divisions come together. So this Saturday, XPW Wrestling returns to the Derby Room in Pomona. It's going to be really awesome. I'm excited. 7 p.m. The next month, March 27th, we're in New Jersey, back in Newark. And just to add to the whole thing, it's just, I never thought we'd have women death matches in my life till XPW. And it's insane. Like some of those girls can just go. We have some luchas that are there. These lucha wrestlers. These girls are amazing, by the way.
Yeah,
they can give the boys a run for their money any day.
The current women's champion is a lucha wrestler. Am I correct?
Yeah, Ludark. She's so cool. I'm so happy she's there. And then we're getting Miranda Elise this month. She's actually going to fight her for that. And then we have the tag match with Masada and that Schlack with the Mega Maga faction. But we have a surprise tag team partner for Network Picture.
Uh-oh.
It's going to be really good. I can't wait. And yeah, it's fun. It's a lot of fun. Huh?
That's exciting.
Yeah, I don't know who it is.
All right, so look, we're going to try to make the show in Newark. That's in March.
Yeah, the 27th. And then March 11th, I'll be at the big show in Queens, big wrestling horror show, March 11th. That's going to be a really cool show. I can't wait to. It's like fun doing those because you get to see like all your friends that you haven't seen in a while.
That's cool.
It gets ugly at the bar though when some of the guys drink a little bit too much. I don't know if you've ever seen the Iron Sheik in rare form or when he's in full form, but yeah, that's a shed show. But yeah, it's fun.
Awesome. So let's talk Krazy Train. So you have a podcast on YouTube. Folks, make sure you go to Krazy Train Podcast with a K on YouTube. Jasmin St Claire has this channel. Can you please share to the viewers exactly what this podcast is about and how often you post your shows?
Sure. So if you listen to it on your favorite platforms such as iTunes, Spotify, or what's the other one that they listen to? Only FM, all of those. It's every Wednesday there's a new episode. I usually drop the video episodes to that on like a Friday or a Monday, but I just started doing memberships where I'm starting to post video interviews that have never aired before because some of my guests have been a little bit controversial and canceled, so I'd much rather just put it in the membership section. Then there's a chatting ability because I really suck at chat. Ask these guys. And if there's like an incentive, I'll do it. And I know I sound horrible. Soon, let's see. So I have I do a mixture of guests. Like I kind of just guide it as a organic conversation with friends. I don't tell them where I want it to go. I just let them go off and do whatever they want to. Teddy Hart's coming on next week. I'm really excited about that.
Nice.
I know. It'll be interesting, but I just think everyone has something to say. I've had people I didn't really care for on the show before, and, we got along, but it's just, they were there for whatever reason. Like, Hello Hardbody came on, even though we were feuding, I still had him on because he's one of these weird characters in XPW. Rob Van Dam, Katie Forbes. I just like having different people with different walks of life on there.
That's awesome. Yeah. Yeah, make sure you check it out, guys. Make sure you go and subscribe and hit that notification bell so that when she publishes, you get that episode right then and there. And also comment on her videos. So, Amor, you got take it away.
I actually, are we getting off right now? Because I have one more question.
No.
Oh, as many as you want, baby. I like your photos.
Thank you.
Is that Chyna? Who is that?
Oh, of course. This is you over here. Okay, so we have you. You're number one. My number one girl right here. And then we have Bianca Belair behind me. We have Chyna, of course, the one and only.
I love her.
And then we have a straight ruthless Lala right above her. And we have Ty Conti.
Ty Mello now.
Cool.
Oh, Ty Mello. Oh.
Chyna is she was such a nice person. Like, she used to live near me when she was with X-Pac, and then I saw her a few days before her tragic incident, and she was really just a wonderful, wonderful human being in general. So,
she seems like
she should be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
I can't wait either. I don't know. Is it the Loch Ness Monster? Is it like a freaking blow-up doll? Is it a mini? I have no clue who it is. Like, in fact, I'm ready to start a pool with people, like some kind of pool as to who the guest is. Like, I'd like to do it. Like, even if it's for like a McFlurry sundae or something, because I love those. I do. The McDonald's sundae.
Did you say a McFlurry?
Yeah, no, actually, I mean the sundaes, because when the sundaes first came out, I was a kid in school, and my mom was picking me up at lunchtime to take me specifically for that. And this is a really memorable moment in my life. So some guy pulls up in a car, and this is why I hate pedophiles. I do not like grown people that don't know kids talking to them. Like, I seriously stand by that. And then the guy has his hand outside of the car. I'm like 7 or 8. He's like, hey, come over. I'm like, who are you? He's like, oh, your mom said I can come get you. I said, I don't know you. And like, I was walking kind of towards the car. And then he's like, no, come over here. So I spat in his face. But then my mom like comes walking down the street and she sees me. She sees him and like he took off.
Wow.
So I always learned about like stranger danger. And that's where my whole like passion comes towards or against strangers talking to kids. But yeah, I love the Carmel McDonald's Sundae. So I'm going to start like a pool about who Necro Butcher's tag team partner is. And yeah, maybe I'll owe someone a Sundae or maybe they'll owe me one.
Oh, look at that.
You said Carmel. Like, is that like the West Coast way to say it? Because we say caramel.
No, that's the best one.
You say
it's
caramel.
a flavor.
Oh, do I say? I'm not the one that says
I say
it.
caramel.
Oh, so she says caramel. It's like a million ways to say it.
Caramel.
What's the other question, mi amore? Mi amor.
Okay. What is the most what is the most controversial thing about your life? Something that you like have to like find yourself correcting people or like, no, it's this, not that, or just something you deal with on a daily basis? Whether it be a
Where shall I start? Okay, like we could go on for like hours and freaking days. All right, first of all, bad grammar.
Yeah.
Okay, because look, you have two choices in life. Do what you're doing, and it's not working, right? When you have the choice to like correct it to go better, then you do it. If you don't want to, then
right.
So that's the first thing. Secondly, obviously, I get a lot of stuff because of my stance on things. But like, dude, my life's half over. So you know what? It's like I want to enjoy the rest of it. And you know, if I have a stance on things and the way things are run, I'm gonna fucking say something. Yeah. Okay. And that's like a highly controversial part of my life these days. But you know what? It's like whatever.
Yeah, that's cool. That's really cool.
I just like I don't always speak my mind. If I'm working on a set somewhere, I don't say anything. That's just when you kind of just shut your mouth and do your thing. It shouldn't even be coming up on an acting set. But there's always an interesting moment daily in my life somehow or another. Did I just wander off the question? Yeah, probably. Okay. And my take on texting and shit like that. It's like, unless someone cut your fucking tongue off, then you call. Your tongue's not cut off. Pick up the goddamn phone.
Okay, next time I'll take your advice.
No, not you. No. I just think it's like.
No, I'm not saying me. I'm talking about you. Next time I'm gonna call you. No, just wait.
Oh, you can call me. Yeah, that you're allowed to. Yeah, you can do that. I don't know. I think that's it. And basically, I don't know. I'll tell you why the podcast is called Krazy Train, because someone once told me a few years ago. It's the Jasmin Krazy Train. It just wakes up and you don't know where it's going to end up or how it's going to end up.
That's cool.
It could end up like in a really awesome mood. It could end with some kind of crazy 360 mood. It could end up like all happy, like all over the place, like, yeah, or like finding out something new or finding some other new hobby or like, it's just, I don't know.
It's a crazy train.
Yeah. And like sometimes like I'll get up early in the morning and I'll start watching like Mike Lindell on TV because I like his pillows. He came out with this new pillow that like it goes warm to cold, cold to warm. And like I'll get crazy like that for a few hours. Then I'll go to sleep for like an hour and get back up and keep going crazy. And then maybe I'll have like my Brazilian skinny coffee. And then like I get all warm and I find one thing I want to talk about, like whether it's jewelry or like cufflinks, and I'll get like this whole thing and just stay focused on that for the day. Then I'll go back and just do whatever, you know. It's, yeah, trust me, if I did cocaine, I'd be the worst candidate for it. I have a hyperactive thyroid. Oh, Mickey Knuckles. Yeah, Mickey Knuckles was at XPW. And the first time I met her years ago when I wrestled for Ian Rotten. And then she was at XPW. I just saw this really cool looking chick with this punk rock hair and the punk rock makeup. And, you know, these fishnets. But these girls are like ripping each other apart at the ring. I'm like, yeah. There's some guy in the front and he had a drink. I think he's like, she just took the drink and drank it and gave it back to him. And at some point, like, these guys actually asked these girls for dates ringside. I mean, that's kind of inappropriate. And, like, where are you going to take them? Take them
people don't care.
Fucking McDonald's? Yeah, but where are they going to take these girls? To McDonald's?
Well,
they need, like, steak. They need red meat after.
Hey, listen, you'll be satisfied with the Sunday McFlurry over here. You're like, oh, yeah, you got me.
Dude, you'd be surprised. They'd be surprised. To have a match with, yeah. God. I think there's like some super liberal faction in WWE. I would love for like the Mega faction to go up against them. And like, I'd like to take that Trump 2024 flag I have. Like, I'd like to put the flag on the side of my Singapore cane and whack the crap out of them. But they might like it. I don't really watch the shows anymore. I watch MLW. I have friends that work there. I sometimes watch AEW, but I don't think I've watched wrestling as much. I think with the Attitude Era, there was just so much stuff going on. And I like Trish Stratus. I admired her and what she was doing in Chyna. And I just like it when there's always something for everyone. Because sometimes you might wake up and you want to see like a really cool heavyweight match. You wake up the next day or a few days later, maybe you want to get into like the tag team matches or like the women's division. But I really think Chyna was a groundbreaker, and she did a lot for girls, like the women, and she opened up a lot of doors for them. I love Glow. So originally I was trained to wrestle by a Glow girl years ago, but because of my size, I was used as a manager. One of my first matches was with Sherry Martel.
Oh, wow.
In Milwaukee. It was a mixed tag match, and we had a lot of fun.
That's cool. So that's Scary
She
Sherry,
was really
correct?
Sweet.
Scary Sherry? Scary Sherry? Queen Sherry? Yeah.
She's a queen.
Oh.
She was iconic.
Yeah, I just like, I mean, I miss people. Like, here's the thing. You don't pay for a pay-per-view or a wrestling show to see people that are like you. And I learned this from James Ellsworth, and he's 100% correct. I'm not going to quote him word for word. But we lack a lot of stars on TV. You want to pay to see someone that's cooler than you. You don't want to pay to see someone that's like from Starbucks or like, some jackass schlub from Silver Lake or something with this, with the man bun and all that crap. You don't want to pay to watch the guy you're working out at the gym next to in a wrestling ring. You want to see a star. You want to see something larger than life. You want to see characters. And I feel like that's what we are missing a lot these days. In wrestling. Maybe that's why I don't really watch it as much as I used to. Yeah.
Amor, you got any last words for Jasmin St Claire?
Before we let you go, let our viewers know what upcoming events you have going on, where we can find you, and where we can get some of those stunning photos you have.
Okay. So believe it or not, I actually got someone to redo my Shopify store. So it's not like me who did it before, who just threw things up there. I thought I knew what I was doing. So it's Jasmin St Claire Shopify, Jasmin without an E. There's a link on my Twitter, which is twitter.com, Jasmin St Claire. No E at the end of Jasmin, E at the end of Claire. Instagram.com, The Real Jasmin St Claire. Krazy Train Podcast, Krazy with a K. It drops every Wednesday. Subscribe to it on Apple and also rate and review so you get free gifts. But my photos are all on my Shopify store. And what else? I have XPW Wrestling this week on Saturday at the Derby Room in Pomona. It's going to be amazing. So go ahead and get tickets, or you could find us now on XPW's streaming site that they have. Then March 11th, the big show in New York, the big wrestling / horror con in LaGuardia, Queens, in Queens, New York. Yo.
Awesome.
Nice.
Awesome. Folks, Miss Jasmin St Claire, thank you for coming out. And folks, make sure you go and check her out, Krazy Train Podcast, and also check out XPW. And thanks for coming in.
Thank you. Gracias.
Thank you. Happy Valentine's Day, beautiful.
Ooh, happy BD, baby. Happy BD, kitties. I'll see you.